there we find out that while detection rates of packers commonly found in the whitelist are pretty good, the detection rates of packers not often found in the whitelist has a lot room for improvement. The next thing were false positives, and this point presented mainly two challenges. On the other hand, there's a suspicious problem, which leads to the fact that packed files are only flagged as suspicious. And the other problem are that there are bad signatures in use that also leads to false positives, but here the false positives, but here certain malware is detected by the antivirus program. The last point were all the other problems that came along. Most obvious, the system load and the scanning speed problems when scanning packed files, and more serious problems when scanning. Yeah. So it comes down to the question: since we have seen problems with archive files last year, can we expect such problems next year with runtime packed files? To avoid such problems, we had some proposals. At first, it isn't enough to support packers found in the malware in the whitelist only, so other packers has to be covered too. Otherwise, virus writers could easily switch to yet undetected packers. But of course, there are too many packers in too many different versions, so you can't write an unpacking engine for each packer. So you have to combine the dedicated unpacking engines with generic approaches and other heuristics. To avoid false positives, some heuristics has to be improved. Just flagging packed files as malicious might work in gateway level, but not on desktops or server systems. And also some signatures should be more carefully chosen. At last, we had to recommend that possible problems in unpacking engines should be reviewed and fixed to avoid the issues we had with archive files last year. So our final advice to some AV vendors is: don't hide for the problem anymore. Okay, now I come to the end, and I want to thank for your attention. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, yeah?
Yeah, we've checked it out as well. The question was if the email gateway is vulnerable as well, right? Of Trend Micro. Yeah. It doesn't crash, but it stalls. Yeah. It just stops scanning. Yeah. No, it just fails. Yeah. But it should be fixed by now. But what? Yeah. We performed these tests 2 months ago, so both these problems are fixed by now. So, right. Yep. Yeah. Some shareware is to little shareware programs are using packers to make cracking them harder. It's a common technique. There is commercial software that uses techniques like that. When you look at dongle protections like Husk or Sentinel, they use techniques like that, but that's of course nothing we tested. But not. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is a valid question. We didn't check out which programs actually use runtime packers, but there are at least a few which are using runtime packers. Yeah. I didn't get the first part. Yeah, sure. Most antivirus products offer such exclusion lists, or they just put it in quarantine and you can get it out later. No, we are talking about what? Runtime packed files, and they are still executables.